All right. Morning, Mac. All right, morning, everybody. Get a little cup of coffee here in my body. So the market is trending intraday, pre-market down, but only slightly. We are currently not just in the middle of Friday's good candle, but even in the upper half, I would say. Upper half and upper 25% of the candle even. I mean, Friday was a pretty strong day. It was pretty surprising, I think, at least to me. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. S&P 500, a little bit more corrective. It's already just beneath the middle of Friday's candle. Okay, so the Qs are in the upper 25% of Friday's candle. S&P 500 is in the middle, right dead center, bottom half kind of Friday's candle. And then the Dow Industrials, okay, they're clearly in the bottom third of Friday's candle. So it means growth is holding its strength while the S&P 500 and the industrials make more of a corrective move. That's a good sign for growth. I mean, that's basically what that's telling you. Thanks, Mac, for helping that dude. All right, you're the man. I put the link right in there, but I guess it wasn't clear. There we go. Maybe that'll help. All right. And now, a very interesting move on the market over the weekend is crude oil and gold, both down. Pretty strong. Crude oil is low. Let's take a look at that. Crude oil's low on Friday was 91, okay? And it was as high as 95 almost. This morning, we're going to be opening at 87. So we're $4 below Friday's low, and we're breaking through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like a week and a half of progress on crude oil. I wouldn't really call it progress though, because we're in a downtrend, and pullbacks in a downtrend are up. So these up moves, these little pullback periods to gather some liquidity and then move lower are to be expected. And this move now, it does put oil in the spot to have a corrective week. So this might be more of a corrective week for oil. We could be at $80 by the end of the week, but don't bet on it. Make your own decisions and trade accordingly and be a good trader. But that is the prognosis here, is that crude oil is continuing to make a down move, and right now it is just breaking new recent lows. And gold, which was at a low of 1,800 on Friday, and a high of 1,802, so not much volatility, hit 1,790 overnight and is now at about 1,795. So yeah, gold similarly pulling back. The whole market itself, every sector is correcting, but like I said, growth stocks to a lesser degree. Such a great sign. It's just a great sign for the health of the market, for the health of growth trading. Good morning, E3. Hey, Mac, thank you. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to change my name to E3 now. I really am. I am Evan E. Evans, and you guys will have to wait to figure out what the middle initial is. All right. Now, that pretty much takes us up to what's going on in the market. I mean, what to expect in the market. I mean, this week there's a lot of pressure to be able to continue this rally that's been going on the last. It's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13 days of fairly strong rallying on the Qs. And if you go over to Apple, you can really see that it's just almost straight up vertical. Usually, straight up vertical like that signifies, you know, a whole new business cycle for a company. That kind of straight move like that is indicating a reset and a re-beginning, a rebirth, let's call it. That's usually what those mean. So investors might be very excited about what's on the next, 2 to 5 year horizon with Apple, and that's baking in to that move on Apple. And it is definitely helping the market along and helping the growth market. But it's really hard to, get in here on anything at this extended point in the market. But that's why they call it a lockout rally. It just leaves you out. The thing is, we're going to get a correction at some point. So if you're really serious and you've been around and you're wise, you'll be able to wait for that, 5 or 10 day pullback. It'll come at some point. But the other thing is, capitalize on this move, but be very careful with it. Take it small. They're smaller than normal. And when it starts to sour, get out much quicker and much more readily than you would ordinarily. Be careful. The market is quite extended from its last pullback, from its last healthy pullback. We're talking like more than 10 days. So there needs to be some gains digested, whether that comes out as a top for the whole week and a choppy top, or that we actually start giving some back, traders start to give some back, remains to be seen. For the market to go up further from here would be basically defying rational logic, so that would be irrational. But that's the way the market is. The market, what do they say? The market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. So you can just lose everything on your thesis. And so get off your thesis and make sure you're watching the price action and trading accordingly, and with very tight rules, staying almost entirely defensive. All right. With all that said, let's get into this week. It's Monday. What do we have on the morning market horizon here for momentum? Well, BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, looking kind of good. Let's take a look at the day chart here. You can see how much it's moved up pre-market from Friday's top of about $12 or $13. Now it's already trying to break $16. So we'll see what comes with that. That'll be interesting. BBBY, be watching it for momentum day trading. PSTV looks like it's popped and faded. It never really did anything but have profits being taken. So there's no grind. There's no up there, it looks like. TISI, that did have a nice reaction earlier in the morning, but it seems to have stabilized. Stabilized is something we can work with. Certainly, if it can break that pre-market high of $1.85, then there might be a trade taken off there, a morning momentum trade. RGS, too thin. Pulling it up there, too thin on volume, but keep an eye on it. If it breaks $1.10, maybe it'll go somewhere and pick up some steam. VEEE, that's 3 E's, V. Twin V Power Cats. This is the one that owns the subsidiary FRZA that IPO'd on Friday. FRZA did terribly. Regardless, in after hours, V, which closed at about $6.90 on Friday, in after hours it went to almost $10. And that level of about $8.50 has held in after hours Friday and pre-market this morning. That's a decent sign of strength. So I would keep an eye on that and be interested if it could break over $9. If it could break over $9, it might pick up enough momentum to break over the pre-market high of $9.77 and the psychological key level of $10. So $9 really is an important level to get over. But if you do get put some risk on there, you'll want to make sure that you put your stop at around $8, or you calculate your risk to $8. That could be where you're going to have to get out if it goes against you. Nothing's guaranteed in life here, folks. UBX, something else we're following from Friday, because on Thursday it had a great earnings reaction, and it moved from 90 cents all the way up to $2 in pre-market on Friday. Then on Friday faded the whole day. Well, it's dead cat bouncing a little bit off that Friday fade and is up to about $1.60. Keep an eye on it. If it could break, you could plant a seed even now. It is basically breaking pre-market's highs right now, grinding up. But if it breaks below $1.40, that's where you need to calculate your risk to. You're going to have to get out. HLBZ also moved up very strongly in pre-market from $1.30ish to about $1.80. So that's the potential, the strength on it. It's done about 7 million shares so far in pre-market. We have 3 minutes till the market opens. It has pulled back gently and has potential there in that respect, but I would still wait for the break of $1.80. I wouldn't even touch that unless it could break $1.80. That's not the nicest little chart pattern right there. Fading. VRDN with some, I think this was the one with maybe that was PSTV, the brain cell news. Iridian, I forget what the news is, but it's earnings related. It was at about $15. It popped into the 20s in pre-market and is hit $22. It's trading at about 19 now, and it's got a pretty wide bid ask. The volume is only about 650,000 shares right now, so it is definitely one of the laggards this morning, but it's got good relative strength. Each one of these pivots has been a higher low. If it can keep that up, then it just might be able to do something this morning. You probably would want to see it confirmed over 22 before you. SPRC, we also have that on watch, but it's been doing a lot of popping and fading, so that's pretty dangerous. MRSN, it has some potential. Could be tightening up, looking for the break over $8 on that. Potentially you could get in at $7.90. Hey, how did you know that, Mac? Yeah, you know that. ILMN, sort of dead cat bounce, earnings release, opening. Wait a sec now. On Friday was the earnings release, and it filled in the gap about 50%. This morning, it could potentially fill in the gap more. That could mean it could go from 210 to as much as 225. So there's a little bit of a 5 or a 10% trade there. Not too much. Your in-hill HLBZ HLBZ. The CEO disclosed his purchase of 200,000 shares at an average price of $3. Okay. Very good. Very good. All right. Well, the market's opening in 30 seconds, and here we go. Let's see what actually starts to happen. I think BBBY is very interesting, and we got to watch the market. I'm very curious what the market is going to do. We know what crude is going to do. Oil. If you wanted to get on the oil short, you need to use an inverse oil ETF. The ETFs are UCO, USO, but the inverse ones I forget right now. DRIP, I think possibly. All right, here we go. Lots of alerts at the open here. And to see if any of our momentum stocks are moving. That's most critical at the moment. Right, the S&P 500 is being bought up. So is the Qs. This pullback is being bought up. It's being thought of as a dip and a better price to get in. Wow. Yeah, the market definitely being bought up on this open. Meanwhile, BBBY is fading, dropping. It's down to 1440 off of 15. That's not a good open on BBBY. No need to be getting into anything that's not going up. ILMN seems to be putting in that gap fill that I was just talking about. So that might move to 225. It's already moving from 207 at the open to 210. Chris, anybody in Asana? That was an alert we put on a couple days ago, and it's doing PayPal just hanging out, but looking like it's putting in a very nice U pattern after gap up, breakaway gap. Your dad's middle name? Good job. You're in Asana? All right, very good. Excellent. Looking good. Well, today, is it testing? Is it testing? No, it's doing great. Okay, Asana is taking off. Asana is just ripping out of the gate. Now, Asana certainly has a lot of potential. I mean, it's at 28 now, but was at 150 a year ago. As the economy it gets back into shape, that's one of the good ones that has a lot of potential. $212.50 now on ILMN. Seems to be the only pre-market momentum mover. Wow, the Q's just doing outstanding, and so is the S&P 500. The Dow not doing the same. Also, I'm noticing that the VIX is not moving with this move on S&P 500, so we have bearish divergence. Oh yeah, I do not trust this market. Lose. I'm going to drop 50% of Friday's hedge. How this market goes. Let's see. RGS is starting to come up, you day traders. RGS. Yes. Most of everything else is fading. As far as a day trade goes, they're all dropping. BBBY is at 14. B isn't doing what we're hoping it's going to do. HLBZ dropping to $1.50. PayPal doing good. If you're in PayPal, that trade is doing well. If you're not, this is an entry right here, but I would still wait a full 5 or 10 minutes on this open just to be careful. Further confirmation. Right on. I don't think NVTA is going to be doing anything good this morning. Let's see. Yeah, it's making a little bit of a recovery, I guess you could say, but it certainly is not where the money is this morning. Benny. Short squeeze candidate CWH. Let's take a look. Chris says CWH. No, that doesn't seem to be happening, but we'll keep an eye on it. LPRO, Open Lending Corporation, is at a nice reversal point. Check their numbers. NVIDIA And Veru. Oh, Veru. Let's take a look at Veru. Yeah, Veru with a nice continuation after earnings on Friday. If you haven't gotten into Veru, you still could get into Veru. This is a swing trade. It'd be day 3 off of earnings. Now gone from 14 to 19 and a half, almost 20 in just 3 days, and looking to continue. Veru, VERU for a swing trade. I'm only calling that one out. Nvidia, not quite there yet. No, somebody was asking about that. BBBY is pulling back. It's at 1389, gapped open up, and it's pulling back. It's a very bad sign, typically a sign of topping when that happens. S&P 500 remains inside Friday's candle, while growth, the Qs, NASDAQ, tech, is up and away over Friday's high. It is off and running. The Dow is hardly moving at all on the Dow. And oil's still hanging out right where it was. Energy sector selling off, though. Everybody's getting out of energy names. It appears to be that's the case. Plug is up like crazy because of the spending bill. Right. Okay. Yeah. Not crazy. And we're still in that trade. That call out, I believe, was at $25. Yeah. But, we knew that. That's why we went into Charge Point as well. Charge Point, look at Charge Point doing absolutely crazily good. And I think those were our top picks with the EV plays, Charge Point and Plug. Yeah, and it's going to stay that way, until probably he signs the bill. That's it. That's fully out of the bag at that point, unless it moves up that day, Energy is going to crash. Somebody says energy is going to crash now that all the retail investors got pushed into it by the media. Well, okay, that's, one card that we can stack onto the pile of thesis. Sure, for sure. VRDN now almost at 23. It's definitely getting up there. Very nice movement. RGS, as I told you, for you day traders, RGS is all the way to almost $1.10. That's that breakout level we were talking about pre-market that we want to eye out for. He was very strong. The VIX is about 2075. IX, VIX. In case you don't know what that is out there, anybody watching? Okay, VRDN is now halted. VRDN Pharmaceuticals is now halted. That was moving strong. That was the one. And then ILMN also retracing now at 214 and 20 cents. Anyway, the VIX is sort of the measure of the amount of fear in the market, and anything in the 20 below 20 in the teens is a good, safe market reading. Anything above 30 means the market is in total hysteria. When we had the pandemic market crash, it hit 89. Anybody know what the maximum is for the VIX? Pop quiz, and don't look it up. Let's see if you can guess. Did you know there's a maximum? How high can the VIX go? Well, actually, now that I think about it, there isn't a maximum. But pretty much 100. Yeah, good guess. Yeah, 100 is basically the maximum. ILMN almost at 216 now. ILMN definitely filling that gap like we were talking about. Yep, the 1-year high has been broken in the halt on VRDN, says Todd. All right, the market doing its first pullback of the morning. It's about a 60% retrace on the Qs, so that could be signs of topping on the Qs. There might have been a fake out at the open here on the Qs. What's your positions if you're holding something? I only sold half my hedge. I still have my other half on. Yeah. Megel is flying, somebody says. MEGL. Oh, yeah. Pre-market, it moved from $8 to $10. It opened, pulled back, broke the high and the pre-market high of $10, and is now trying to break $11. Okay, so that could really fly. There it is. There's the break on Megel, MEGL, breaking $11. A very nice looking trading going on Megel, MEGL. That RGS is going to sell off hard. Someone is dumping on the news. Yeah, it could. All right, VRDN is open and pulled back from the halt of around 24 almost to about 2250. I think a big pullback like that with a halted up move is going to find a lot of buyers, and some of that dip is probably going to be bought up. But be careful because that's a big drop. It looks like the big boys are playing over there, and they're just taking your money. Does that look like an ABCD pattern? No, not yet. I don't think so. Getting rid of my RLP. I don't know if anyone else is in that with me. ARLP. UNP having a pullback day. That's one of our positions, UNP. However, it is very light pullback, very light volume. So nothing to be afraid. UPS continuing to look good. How come Peloton is moving so much? Well, it's pulling back a little bit this morning. Is that what you're talking about? I think it has saw another lawsuit, but it had a nice breakout on Friday. Line of very strong reversal, and that made a good entry. It's just filling now, backfilling, testing and getting the last of anybody who wants in, and everybody who isn't serious out one last time before it takes off, probably. Yeah, cold, perhaps. Yeah, perhaps that could be happening on cold, on natural gas. ILMN now at almost $222. ILMN coming off of the open of 207. So this is the one I said is going to fill this morning to about 225 and was opening at 207. Wonder if anybody took that trade. All out on my part. Pat myself on the back. How or why I got into this IMV. Looks like a penny stocking trade, but I'm getting it. DQ, I believe it's like a clean or clean energy. I'd have to do a little more research on it, but I believe it's a clean energy company. DQ had an entry on that a couple of days ago, and it's holding above entry. So really nice. That's how we hold positions when they're profitable. Looks like our position SQM is continuing. Yep, very nice. SCO for the crude short, somebody says. There you go. You need to go long and you need to inverse ETF. You got SCO. That is a more of a daily ETF. So I wouldn't hold that for more than a day trade or potentially overnight. Consumer staples, healthcare, and utilities are being bought up. That's a defensive move. They're up and over Friday's highs. Also up and over Friday's highs is tech. And most other sectors are still working their way up. Now Megal now at 1124, and VRDN. Let's check in on that. VRDN faded from the opening after the halt. It's been doing nothing but fading. Does the gap pattern mean anything on Clove? Let's see. I'm not seeing any particular gap pattern there that's worth noting as a pattern. When it gapped up, but then gapped down. Oh, you're talking about that right there? Okay. Well, it's retracing that entire gap, and it's done. So now, it has work to do. Should you sell AMC? Depends on where you got in. It doesn't look too alarming. Well, actually, some stronger volume is coming in on AMC, isn't it? It depends on where you got in and what the trade is for you. Really hard to answer that. Just should you sell AMC? There's many trades that could be put on AMC that could work. It just depends on timeline. Corsair has been on quite the rip for the last couple of weeks. Earnings didn't stop that, could have even maybe accelerated that. CRSR, and it is now getting up and over the gap that it had in April, the gap down. So it may go and try and fill that gap up to about 1825 and then continue on. It's a potential swing, but it certainly has a lot of overhead. All right, the market itself is still doing pretty well. Q's trying to get up towards those highs it was making, but the S&P 500 is taking off rather nicely. Somebody's mic's on. It's Abdul. I'll mute you. There you go. Like it was shit. I was just in the bathroom. No, we couldn't hear anything though. Like, oh shit. It became like the Naked Gun. If you know what scene I'm talking about. So S&P 500 doing good. The Dow doing good. The Qs are like, we're tired. We're at a top. The Q saying growth is kind of topped out. But industrials, S&P 500 saying, no, we're not topped out. Tesla acting almost exactly like the Qs. In fact, it looks to be what's the word? Leading the Qs, if you will. So the Qs have not taken that corrective leg that Tesla just did yet. Maybe they will. ENGO, that's a pharmaceutical company. I can't potentially give you an opinion about that fast. Plus, I'm not a biotech specialist. So, I'm not great at understanding, the whole timeline and how that affects everything. I don't have enough experience to be able to tell you, hey, it means this is like a 72% probability. No, but as far as charts go, it recently went parabolic. So, that move seems to be over because it stopped going parabolic and it's pulled back and now it's hanging out. It could go further. Never know the way these go. So it's more of a day trade. BNGO is more of a day trade than it is any kind of investment or swing trade. Right? It could only be day traded. That means you shouldn't be in it. In case you didn't understand the logic there. Something should only be day traded. Don't fucking hold it. Oh, it's logic. ILMN is at 222.50. Almost hit 223. T-Tech, and it's like really testing me because do I want to get in or not? It can really move when it moves. Got earnings. Around. I think I'm going to have it get back and over the earnings up before I get too excited about it. I'll move there. So maybe it'll get there by the end of the week. Would you do a straddle for a day trade? I mean, if you could get your straddle across, if you could do a crossed straddle by understanding the way things are moving, as a day trade, and you can actually trap the trade, trap the straddle such that it's a no lose straddle. That'd be pretty cool. You can do that. That's a possibility that can happen, but you have to be right about how you think that stock is moving on the day. Have a free straddle. All right, you guys, that's the morning program. We are up to date on everything. Let's stay in touch inside of the group here. Stay on top of everything. And I'm going to continue to scour the market. But right now, I'm going to go have a little breakfast. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side in the trading room. You guys can be in the active trader lounge talking with each other, or in the member chat area, or the momentum channel. Those are some great channels to hang out if you're active trader. All right, have a good morning, everybody. Yeah, in the trading group. Yep, don't forget to follow. And good afternoon, good evening, and good night. If I don't see you.